Hello and welcome to the fourth race of this season as the cars are finishing up their formation lap, lining up on the grid. And we've got a Mercedes front row lockout as the 5 red lights are going on. Lights out and away we go, and we have got Lewis Hamilton in pole position after a very unfortunate first few races, but he's got an amazing start, and that is the Ferrari of I believe that is Sebastian Vettel overtaking now Valtteri Bottas, but now maybe Bottas will stay ahead as there's a bit of contact there, and Valtteri Bottas is ahead, but Sebastian Vettel with a much better start. Valtteri Bottas squeezing him as much as he can, but Sebastian Vettel has got the very good start and exit that he needs, and despite a bit of sketchiness from Bottas, he's got the position. Will he be able to keep it though, as Bottas is really fighting his absolute best? He is now the championship leader, so he wants to fight all that he can to retain this championship lead, but he has got Max Verstappen behind him, who is not far off of the championship after getting that win in Bahrain at the previous Grand Prix. Here is Sergio Perez, and that is the move from Max Verstappen as he goes down his inside right there. A very strange move from there, as Max is just trying to get them as quick as possible. Not exactly a usual move. The overtaking zones are at the first sector and at the final sector, but the middle sector is more of a tricky, twisty sector, which has a lot of dirt here and is difficult for following. But here come the cars through now in this final sector, as there is Kimi Räikkönen, who is quite far down in the standings in this race, which is not good as he has lost the championship lead, and as things stand he will go quite a bit further down the championship order, as things are very close between the top 6. But will he be able to overtake Force India in front of him? Not quite yet. Meanwhile, there's a Williams, a Felipe Massa trying to overtake Daniel Ricciardo. I believe that is Daniel Ricciardo. Not quite able to do that though. Or is it Max Verstappen? I'm not entirely sure. We can't quite see from this camera angle, but we will find out soon enough. It is Max Verstappen. Meanwhile, this is Romain Grosjean. No, it's Kevin Magnussen, and he's just retired on the second lap of the Grand Prix. And that is yellow flags, and that is going to be a safety car. At the very beginning of the Russian Grand Prix, we have got a safety car. This is bad news for Lewis Hamilton, who had an amazing start and was looking, honestly, to just get away with it and continue on for an easy win. But this might shake things up a bit. Will everybody pit in or not? We're going to find out soon enough, as everyone will really just be responding to what Lewis Hamilton does. I believe, though, that it would be wise to pit in. Russia isn't a very high tire wear track, not nearly as much as tracks like Bahrain or China or even Australia, and indeed Lewis Hamilton is going to pit in. Most people are going to pit in. You can easily take the tires further, but no, Felipe Massa is going to continue out. And that is because he's on a different strategy and he can't pit in to the softer compound of tires, because on that he would not be able to continue. This is terrible for Lewis Hamilton, and even worse for Bottas, as he's being held up and Bottas is being double stacked. This is disaster at Mercedes, as they are being jumped by everybody. What is going on here? But just as bad as that is for Hamilton, that is about twice as bad for Valtteri Bottas. Awful stuff for them, as everybody is double stacking. But here is Felipe Massa in P1 behind the safety car, and unfortunately they were boxed into not being able to pit in because of the alternate strategy that they're on. Same with Grosjean. But oh, what is this? This is Kimi Räikkönen going incredibly slowly, and I'm not entirely sure. I believe he's just retired from the Grand Prix. So but they won't be having another safety car as we're already under safety car conditions, but that is just more work for the stewards and for the marshals to do, to clear up all of that added debris, that entire car, still to get that off the racetrack. But meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton missing out quite a bit, but not as much as maybe was necessary, because everybody was double stacking. So in the grand scheme of things are not too bad. As here's Max Verstappen as we are now getting ready for the safety car restart, and this will be very, very interesting, as everybody will now be on the same compound of tires, and nobody will have very worn tires either. So at the start at least, things will be pretty good for the top three. But we're about to go, and I believe we're going now, and Max Verstappen overtakes straight away. Lewis Hamilton tries to overtake, Max Verstappen overtakes, Max Verstappen with an incredible start, Sebastian Vettel immediately going up into the podium positions, Max Verstappen now into P4. It's been a very, very chaotic safety car restart with all the faster cars just surrounding the slower cars in front of them. Here is Lewis Hamilton. He's going to go down the inside. There's a lockup from Grosjean, but he's got the position easy as you like, and that is the position for Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, up ahead we've got Max Verstappen, up ahead of him Sebastian Vettel, and then the two Williams in P1 and 2. A 1-2 for Williams, but they have yet to pit. So this is going to be quite interesting on what's happening. But as you can see, Sebastian Vettel is not overtaking them yet. It's not completely easy actually, with the Williams having some decent straight line speed. And around Russia, it is a power track. They've got a good Mercedes engine. You do need that straight line speed, and Sebastian Vettel just isn't quite able to overtake. He will also not have DRS because, of course, it's just one lap off of the safety car. You have to wait 2 laps off the safety car before having DRS, and he has a look, tries to do an overtake, but unfortunately that just was not going to work, and that is not an overtake for Sebastian Vettel. Meanwhile, we're not really sure what we're looking at here, but we've got actually Sebastian Vettel is being crowded by Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, as it's an absolute it's just an overtake fest. Everybody crowding onto each other. A massive DRS train. Meanwhile now, Sebastian Vettel still does not have DRS, but he's got the slipstream, and that is some sketchy stuff from the Williams driver of, I believe that is Lance Stroll, but he's going to go around the outside. Sebastian Vettel makes the move stick. A very, very good overtake from him. Will Lance Stroll be able to keep holding off the faster cars behind him, though, as he's got now Max Verstappen behind him, and Max Verstappen going to go down the inside. He cut across a bit, and he has to give that position back, and Lance Stroll is now in that position. But now Max Verstappen just re-overtakes him quite very easily, and that has really messed up Lance Stroll, as Lewis Hamilton tries a very, very strange overtake. That was not going to work, but Lance Stroll having a very bad exit after that, and now things are really seeming to take a bad turn for Lance Stroll, as you can just see so many cars right behind him ready to pounce, to overtake, and one of them is Lewis Hamilton, the I believe that is 3 times world champion. Yes, 2008, 2014, 2015, but he is not overtaking Lance Stroll just yet. A big lockup from the Williams driver. This is his rookie season, and this is a good chance to have an absolutely fantastic result if he would be able to continue ahead, create a gap, and then when he pits, be well within the point. But unfortunately, he's not able to go ahead and create a gap. Instead, he keeps being overtaken, and he's not able to get into a rhythm, and that is why I believe he will have a very, very bad time once he has pit in, because rather than creating a gap, he'll just fall right down the order. And here is Lewis Hamilton. He's now got DRS. It's going to be a very, very straightforward move. A little bit of aggression there from Stroll, as he's doing everything he can, but unfortunately that is just not quite enough, and in the end the Mercedes car is unstoppable. Meanwhile, Daniel Ricciardo here behind Lots of lockups going on. That's slowing him down very much, as nobody is really in rhythm. Nobody's quite fast. There's a blue flags. I'm not quite sure for who the blue flags are, but maybe the cars in front of Daniel Ricciardo are blue flags, in which case they should be getting out of the way, but they aren't, and I believe that they are not blue flags, but I don't know then why exactly, if there's maybe a car somewhere within the pack that is actually lapped. Maybe they pit before the safety car due to damage, but we haven't seen any of that happen. So meanwhile, here's Romain Grosjean trying to overtake Lance Stroll. Will he be able to make that move work? No, he hasn't even tried to go for the overtake, but he's got more pace than the Williams, which is surprising. The Williams usually outpacing the Haas, but not at this race. At this race, the Ferrari engine is superior to the Mercedes engine, and Romain Grosjean is just so incredibly close. With the help of DRS, I believe he should be able to make an easy pass on Lance Stroll, and we're gonna see though what will happen. No DRS yet, but now they've crossed the DRS line. Romain Grosjean's got DRS, he's got slipstream. Where will he go? He's going to go around the outside actually. This will be very, very interesting what happens. He does have a big lockup, and that has just not helped him out at all. I believe he's lost a bit of front wing there from the Force India, and that has just really not helped him out at all. Meanwhile, here's Valtteri Bottas with a terrible race from him. He will be losing the championship lead with this kind of a race, but not to Kimi Räikkönen, as Kimi Räikkönen, also with an unlucky race, retiring. As things stand, it will be, I believe it will be Max Verstappen or Sebastian Vettel to be leading the championship, as Vettel is leading the race, I believe, unless he is still behind the Williams of Felipe Massa, who has got a lot more pace, and his strategy is working out a lot better than Lance Stroll's, because Lance Stroll cannot catch a break from being overtaken. Here is now, I believe that is Daniel Ricciardo. Where will he go? Down the inside, around the outside. He's not going to go for the move, actually. That is quite surprising, actually. With the help of DRS, he isn't going for the move. He's being a bit more tentative, seeing how aggressive Stroll was, perhaps, when some other faster cars try to overtake him. So he's going to try to do a very, very simple move. Going to wait probably till the start finish straight. But here is now Felipe Massa pitting in from the lead, and we'll be very, very interested to see where does he end up. I don't think it is a winner of a strategy. They're boxed in, but I think, considering how bad of a strategy it turned out to be with the safety car, I think he's been doing a pretty good job, but he will be well out of the points, actually, as here is, oh, that's a big lockup there. And wait, no, that is Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen isn't out of the race. He just had some form of a mechanical issue, but it seems to be fixed now, and he's now going fast. But unfortunately, that happened a bit late now. He's well out of the points. This is terrible news for him. Sebastian Vettel leading the race easily. Second, Max Verstappen. And third, Lewis Hamilton. Shame for Lewis Hamilton, who was leading the Grand Prix at first very, very easily. It's not been a very lucky season for him. Very, very unfortunate. It's not been a very lucky season for Sebastian Vettel either, though. The last, including this race, the last 3 races, he's been on course to win. But in these last 3 races, he hasn't won a race yet, but maybe this will be the race. Meanwhile, lots of lockups going on. There's a massive battle between Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, and Lance Stroll, and yet again we see that blue flag, but we do not know who that is for. Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez going side by side, and now maybe Valtteri Bottas is going to go into the mix, and he overtakes Daniel Ricciardo rather than Daniel Ricciardo overtaking Sergio Perez. Disaster for Daniel Ricciardo, as rather than overtaking somebody, he does indeed get overtaken. Good news for Valtteri Bottas, though, as he's able to climb up the order, able to do some of that damage limitation, and now he will try to chase after Sergio Perez and see if he can move further up the order. However, a huge gap between Perez and the car in front, because of course the Force India not one of the top 3 teams, top 6 cars, and so Valtteri Bottas is really going to have his work cut out for him once he overtakes Perez. Perez, however, not making it easy quite yet. Bottas has been close for a little bit, but Perez not letting him by without at least a bit of a fight. However, we are entering the second sector, which of course has a massive DRS straight, and this is where things will be quite a bit more complicated. Yet again, seeing blue flags, still do not know what that is about. It's definitely not for Perez, as Perez is for position. He does not have DRS. Bottas behind him does have DRS. You can see Bottas just in the mirrors. Where will he go? Perez all around the outside, on the outside line, and a massive lockup over there, as you can see, but it's not enough for Bottas to get past. Perez with a big lockup, but it is not in a too bad position for him, but Bottas really putting the pressure on, as he is just so close to the Force India driver. Will he be able to make the move now? He's been behind him for a lap by this point. Can he make the pass? He doesn't have very much long left. He doesn't have a lot of time left still. Sorry, tripped over my tongue. But he is getting very, very close. He has got DRS. He's got the slipstream. He's got a faster car in a straight line. Will he be able to overtake? No, he won't. He won't be making the move. Why? That is very, very surprising. Just still sticking behind Perez. But meanwhile, here is Max Verstappen, who is suddenly catching up a little bit to Sebastian Vettel. He's begun to catch up to the Ferrari ahead of him. Will he be able to deprive Vettel of the win? Vettel's been so close to victory in these last 3 races, including this race. Can Max take that away from him? Max won the previous race. Can he win yet another one? But at the moment, it seems that Sebastian Vettel is going to get this win, and is going to get his first win of the season, to make it 4 different winners in the first 4 Grand Prix. But Max is not far behind at all. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas has lost quite a bit of ground to Perez in front of him. And actually now he's under attack from Daniel Ricciardo, as Ricciardo just behind him, moving left, right, trying to find some place where Valtteri Bottas' defenses aren't quite up to scratch, but he's not able to overtake. But this is hindering Bottas very, very much indeed, as he has lost so much time to Perez in front of him. Very, very surprising that the Mercedes not able to catch up to the Force India, but it seems that the Mercedes just isn't quite fast enough during this race. Hamilton not really able to side through the field. Neither is Bottas, it seems, as Daniel Ricciardo, will he go round the outside? Yes, he will. Oh, Bottas just giving him enough room, as Daniel Ricciardo actually nearly hits the wall there. He's going to go round the outside. Is that the position for him? Bottas hits Ricciardo a little bit on the right rear tire, but that's the position for Ricciardo. And actually, it's I just learned why. It's because Bottas does have an issue with his car. He's also locking up a lot, but you can see suddenly how much slower he's going, and the issue is just getting worse and worse and worse, as now he's locking up more and going just at a snail's pace. And at this rate, it will be Kimi Raikkonen ahead of Valtteri Bottas, but he doesn't have long, but he is very, very close. However, he'll have to overtake 3 people to be ahead of Valtteri Bottas included. So this is going to be very, very tight now between Kimi Raikkonen and Bottas, the 2 Finns for the lead of the championship, but both of them have had car issues, and now actually it's going to be Esteban Ocon who's going to try and overtake the Finn. Also, meanwhile, in the background, there's Carlos Sainz. People going left, right, and center. Bottas with the lockup. Ocon with the lockup as well, and he's not able to pass. He was looking to be able to make a move, but unfortunately, due to his lockup, he couldn't get past. It's not going to be the position quite yet for Perez. Ocon. Meanwhile, we have got Nico Hülkenberg, and he is the man who has been causing these blue flags. And now he's going to overtake Kimi Raikkonen, but no, it wasn't. It was Kimi Raikkonen is under blue flags. Kimi Raikkonen is the one under blue flags. This is all very, very confusing, but Kimi Raikkonen was actually overtaken. Meanwhile, there's a 3 wide moment here. Who will come out on top? It's going to be Carlos Sainz. No, he's got a big lockup. And will he be able to get it? Yes, he will. There's a bit of contact, but he's going to come out on top. Still more contact. Tire banging. He raises his hand, but he's got the position, overtaking 2 cars in one corner. And Valtteri Bottas, what a disappointing time for him, as he is just so incredibly slow now. But Kimi Raikkonen actually was lapped under the safety car when he had his car issue. So even though now he has got pace, he is a lapped car. Meanwhile, it's the last lap. Max Verstappen has finally caught up, but it's not going to be quite close enough, I think. He's been catching up this whole time, and he's so close to Sebastian Vettel, up ahead of him. But I think Sebastian Vettel will have this position. He only has to make 2 more corners. Will he be able to do it? Max Verstappen's so incredibly close there, but 1 corner left. Vettel is going to round, and he's going to become the 4th winner of 2017 and win his first Grand Prix, which will put him ahead of, I believe, his teammate Valtteri Bottas. And that is Max Verstappen, the man who will now be leading the championship.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye and see you again next time.